You guys, welcome back to the Royalty Podcast. I'm Hannah. I have my little sister, Simone Baloney, with me, and we are here to recap each episode of The Amazing Race Season 38. You guys, wait a second. My laptop is definitely making noise. Please hold.
Yes. Well, with no team that needs an amazing intro, we're about to give the most amazing intro ever. Here we have two amazing gems, hearts of gold, just
Oh
epitomes
God.
of amazing and kind people, and just really determined people because we are here to talk about the amazing finale starring Joseph and
Sim-
Adam Abdin.
And
Simone's talking about the Chaddhas, not
wait,
us.
no.
No.
If there's
And
anyone who's the most joyful and happy group out of all contestants, it's the Chadas.
It was
So
Hannah and Simone.
you
This,
guys
this
take
is
that
gonna
cake
turn,
and it's nice.
this is
No.
gonna turn into a segment of us gassing each other's families.
no, for sure. And I do want to formally call you guys Team Palestalians because that unfortunately was not
Uh-huh.
shown on the show at all. You guys ran with your kafiyas. And so I just wanted to take a couple extra seconds to highlight the fact that a big part of the reason why you guys went on the race was to increase visibility for your community, especially within the context of what is happening in Palestine right now. So let's just jump into it. Can you guys talk a bit about your motivations for going on to the race, as well as Joseph, why you chose to bring Adam instead of your twin siblings or your parents?
Of course. Oh, my parents. That was
Dude, I
that.
don't even think that's a
That was
choice.
yeah. Logistically, I don't think my mom because of her health issues and my dad because of him. I don't think I would have got very far with
He's
Mama.
not no Jack. He's not no
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah, yeah. Let me just we can barely like walk to a restaurant together. So I don't think we are and considering the height, yeah, that there's just no shot. My mom, it would have been a dream come true. She introduced us to the show, so we would have loved to have taken her, but her health limitations doesn't allow her to participate in a show like this. And my siblings my twin siblings, Abe and Jasmine, had a lot of commitments already on their plate, so they had zero pushback when I kind of told them that I believe Adam would probably be a really good choice for this. And going on the race, it wasn't just about the money. This was a dream come true. This was about going on a journey and stepping out of your comfort zone and coming out of your shell. So, my two siblings, who are also very well traveled and love competitions and athleticism, were like, yeah, we've been there, kind of done that. Nothing like the race, but we know someone who doesn't like to step out of their comfort zone and experience. And at this point, Adam has missed out on so many experiences with us. I mean, he's 4 years younger. The twins are only 7 months younger than us, so we're almost like Irish triplets. So we're us three are very close, and Adam's always kind of just trailing behind. Yeah, yeah. So it was very easy for me to determine who I wanted to go on this. Of course, they told us right when they called. They said that this was a family season. I'm sure they told you guys the same thing. Like you can't bring anyone from reality TV. Must be a loved one. Yeah, you're like, oh, it was
I'm
a little
like,
bit of a unique process. I'm an alt also, so I get it. I've been there with Big Brother, so I definitely get the inconsistency. But um, I once I called Adam, I mean, he was partially excited. I think he was more excited for me. Wasn't really receptive to it. I told him I want to take you. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's win this. And he was like, "Okay, seriously, who are you going with?" I was like, "You, buddy." And I'll let Adam take it away from there. When I still remember the phone call, he was just like excited more for me and not for us. I was like, we got to get ready for casting. Like, we got to go through the process. And he was more like reluctant and hesitant and like, are you sure you want to do this? Kept doubting my decision. And I was like, what are you saying? Like, we're doing this.
Uh, well, At first, it wasn't we're doing this. Well, I'm also in law school, so like Joseph called me and he's like, "Hey, like Amazing Race called me." I remember those were the initial words. He's like, "Hey," he was like, "Hey, I got to talk to you about something later." I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." We get on a phone call and he's like, "Hey, Amazing Race called me," and I was like, "Holy crap! Like you're gonna kill the interviews. Like you're gonna kill that. Like who are you going with? Taylor? Like who's it gonna be? Like?" And then he was like, "No, they want a loved one." I was like, "Oh snap! Like Abe's in dental school, but like crap, like you guys could win that. Like Abe is really good with his hands and everything like that." And then that's when Joseph was like, "All right, like I'm cutting through all the what?" And Joseph was like, "You're going," and I was like, "No," like, and I tried to use like school as like an excuse and whatnot. And then that's when Joseph, kind of is a little different than me, where Joseph was like putting his foot down in the sense of like, I'm confident we can go and we can win. And it took a bit of a conversation and some discussions with our other siblings, and they convinced me that not only should I go, but that I need to be prepared to go all the way and win this with Joseph. And we set that goal, and I think we did a great job together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam was always pushing back consistently. Like he was like, so our brother Abe is like like I mentioned, the twins are only 7 months younger than me. He's big into fitness. He was riding a motorcycle. Very good with his hands. Dental student. Always building. And then our sister is probably the most traveled out of all of us. Always
Yeah.
trying to learn a new language, etc. So Adam's like, why would you pick me? Like this makes no sense. And he kept pushing against it and being like, we're first boots if you take me. And another consideration that we can't get into too many details with, he wrongfully believed, which I have to shout out casting for this, that if I selected him as a partner, the logistics of him being the first person to wear the Dexcom and the Omnipod would be so daunting that he felt like we wouldn't make it through the casting process. Of course, as you guys know, it's a very competitive opportunity. So he was like, I felt like if I jumped on, and Adam can probably talk about this more. He just felt like logistically he was and I mean your words exactly to me was, I don't want them to look at me as a liability and not put you on the show, which was not the case at all. They were more than accommodating to us wherever it needed, and they figured it out. And then Adam paved a way for other diabetic individuals who want to go do the show and do it with in tandem of a Dexcom or an Omnipod.
Gotcha. Can you guys talk a bit about how you prepared for the race? I know you guys live in the same state. You both live in Southern Florida, but Adam, you're in Miami. Joseph, you're in West Palm. I'm not really that familiar with Florida. I've been to Disney World like twice. But are you guys in close proximity to each other? And if not, then how did you guys train?
We're about an hour and a half away. I will say, once Joseph and I like committed that it was going to be both of us, one thing he mentioned is that in life, like you start to distance when school and other priorities start to take precedent. And Joseph and I didn't talk as much. And although we probably didn't get to train as much as we wanted to, one thing I want to say is just the fact that him and I were preparing for the possibility to go on Amazing Race, we talked a lot more. And, aside from the physical training and the mental training that the Amazing Race entails, like Joseph and I's just communication with one another, conversation every day, checking in, was something that got lost in life and was brought back to us to the Amazing Race. So Joseph can speak on the physical training, but that is one thing that I will say I will attribute to training, is that I started talking to my brother a lot more than I was prior.
That is absolutely part of the training process. I think we have seen, and Joseph, I will let you speak in a second, but I think we've seen season after season, it's not necessarily the tallest team that wins, the strongest team, the most athletic team. It's the team that's the most resourceful, that has the best understanding of their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and how their partner can compensate for those
Right.
weaknesses. And the team that has the most positive attitude. And I think when you look at those ingredients, you guys absolutely had the makings to win. Now, of course, the competition was very, very fierce. And so there were other teams that also had the makings to win. But Adam, I hope in the future you don't automatically count yourself out.
Thank you.
You're more
100%.
than capable.
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
did all of this while in. That's super impressive.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everybody, this entire cast was right when we walked in and we saw. I was like, oh my god, of course! Like, why I always the really amazing competitors, like every single time. Like, but as you mentioned, Hannah, I mean, we're not really. I'm sure you two can relate to this. Like, I'm working full time as an attorney. We're not really afforded the luxury of, let's stop everything. I'm taking care of my family as well. I have a lot of responsibilities.
And you teach a
So
workout
being
class on top of that too.
I'm counting that as prep. Yeah, those are a little um, hobbies, but I work over full time, and when the race called, it's not like, oh, let's kick back. It's, oh, understanding that I am going to be unavailable for a certain amount of time. I need to kick into higher gear, working and get more done. So with that, and then Adam's law school schedule, we just really could not line up at any point. By the time or dates I had free or I didn't have a commitment, he had a commitment. And both of us,
I'm
we
sorry.
had
I don't mean to cut you off. I just knew that the few times we did train, we would make a joke that the power of friendship and the power of our relationship was gonna
oh
play.
yeah, oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
like that we would
We,
just
it
Gonna
was so
dominate
bad.
prevail.
this because when
Yeah,
we would
it was
train,
so
we would
bad.
look at each other and be like, "Oh man, this is
Oh,
bad."
we would,
Hopefully, the power of
Hannah,
our
I'm not joking.
friendship just
Oh,
takes
yeah,
us.
we would finally see each other, and we would be like, okay, let's try this
And he'd be
puzzle or
like, "I
something.
can't
And
do
then
this, or I can't go
yeah,
to
yeah,
Yeah,
work, I
yeah,
us
can't go to
something
too.
like
class."
a client would call me or something would cut us off. Yeah, something would cut us off, and our training just didn't happen that day because one of us had a commitment. So we would be like, and the power of friendship will get us through.
We'd be
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
and
We
it
were like, no, we're
did.
just gonna have to hope and pray to God. It kind of did. You know what's so funny? We used to tell our mom all the time because she, being a huge fan of the show, would watch me and Adam just working and studying all day, and she would call us and be like, "What have you guys done for the race? What are you guys doing for the race?" And we were like, you're gonna have to pray. I was like, I don't know what you're gonna do. But I used to tell her, I was like, you're just gonna have to pray for us. Like, so her expectations weren't too high. And again, I want to highlight it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. In the small instances we could train, we very much did.
Yeah.
But we also had casting to deal with. So when me and Adam would finally get a chance to be together, we had to go through our interviews, we had to go through the casting process, we had to work out the logistics of his medication. I mean, oh my God, getting Adam's medicine for a month period and overriding the insurance, that was a whole endeavor on its own. And then figuring out how we were going to pack it, how we could keep the insulin refrigerated, how we can protect the insulin, what packaging we should keep it in, what backpack we
Yeah.
should have it in. It all just like compounded and compounded. So by the time we were just like, okay, let's get in our cars and go figure something out, we would be like, and the power of friendship.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. And again, like, well, I was just gonna say, me and Simone, we can very much relate. We were just telling Izzy and Paige how we would like start training, start navigating, and then we would see a coffee shop that looked really good, and then we'd be like, I think we're done for the day. Let's go.
Yeah.
No problem. Oh, baloney. I can see her be, oh, I think that would be good.
Yeah.
No, it was actually me. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it
Simone.
was.
I
And then
feel
we were
like I
like,
think we've worked hard enough today. So sorry, go ahead,
oh
Simone.
no, no, no! I totally cut you off. I was going
Oh,
to say like we would be like in the, and then we'd be like we can come back, and then we like would still go, and then like to the destination that we planned, that would be like, forget this location, let's just go back now, and then we would like abort the mission and then go to the coffee shop. So we gave it our all.
oh my God.
We tried,
Well, could have given it
We
more.
always
but
had
yeah,
arrangements
exactly.
similarly. We always between a client, Adam being like, I have an hour and a half drive back, vice versa. Like, and again, I mean, Adam of course has a girlfriend, so when he did have downtime, like coming and spending it with me while we're stressed out trying to figure out how to. It was just not the most, effective way to prepare in comparison as if we weren't working as full time. In the legal profession, so we were just a little limited in preparation hours.
But I think we all tried the best we could with the hand that we were dealt and the circumstances that we had to work with. Now, granted, we could have probably gotten a little less distracted by coffee shops, but like we still
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did go back to something that you guys mentioned, you guys having to figure out the logistics of Adam's insulin. That added a whole nother layer to your guys' race. And I am very glad that they chose to show it and it was part of your
Yes.
story versus Adam's diabetes just being a very tangential point that was like sort of alluded to, but not really mentioned.
Focused on.
Adam, can you, I'm sorry,
Oh, I said focused on.
what did you say, Simone?
Focused on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yes,
Oh, yeah, sorry, that
I
was
hear
it.
you.
You.
So Adam, I was wondering if you could talk a bit more about racing with type 1 diabetes and those constant fluctuations with your blood sugar, especially in such a highly stressful environment. And so your blood sugar is even less controlled than normal.
Yeah, I mean, I recently put on the Omnipod probably just a few months prior to going on the Amazing Race. So it was still something I was naturally adapting to. And then when I did have any type of physical activity, it was not Amazing Race activity. It was like an apartment gym workout or like, basketball with my friends. And so going on the Amazing Race, like, it was one thing that Joseph and I had concerns of. Whether it was holding the backpack and the medication in the backpack, or whether it was my sugar just like completely spiking or dropping because you have to run 3 miles to the detour or the clue box. Like it put just a straight like mess in our plans. Joseph and I tried our best to just like adjust to it, and that's life as a type 1 diabetic. Sometimes your sugar just does not want to be on the same page as you, and you kind of just have to deal with it. I want to shout out the other teams like Jazz Jack, Eric Tucker, and a bunch of other teams, like even you guys who have like continuously checked in on me. Do you need anything? Like people offered me a bar or like a sugar tablet or something like that because Joseph and I ran through our supplies. Like we brought a bag worth of supplies and it just ran through it. And my sugar didn't want to be on the same page as me, but we slowly adjusted. There's different time zones and different settings in the machine that's adjusted for the United States. And on the Amazing
Mhm.
Race, you don't know what country you're going to be in. So the time zone's different. The settings are different. The insulin being delivered to my body's different, and it was tough, but we tried to make the most of it and we tried to adapt. And again, I think Joseph and I did the best that we could.
Absolutely.
100%.
And one moment that sticks to me in particular is when you guys were in Milan and Adam, you chose to do the dress challenge. And it looked hotter than most of the other places that we went to. You guys were all kind of shedding your layers, and you could see that the heat was really getting to you on top of your blood sugar potentially crashing or your blood sugar levels just being out of whack. And you were such a trooper, but I do also want to shout out Joseph because
Yes.
Joseph, the entire season, you could just see how much care you have for your younger brother. And you are normally a very goofy, unserious
Yeah.
individual. But when it comes time to you, and it was just your guys' dynamic was beautiful to watch. It was super inspiring. And I remember watching you as well as some of the other elder siblings who happened to be older than me. And I was like, okay, I could borrow from that. Or like, I really love the way that Joseph supports Adam here. And maybe I could do a better job of doing that with my younger sister. So I just have to give both of you guys all the kudos in the world. I think you guys just showcased what a healthy race dynamic looks
Thank
like.
you. I do want
I
to
think
say
so too.
before Joseph jumps in is that it feels safer when you have a support system like I did with Joseph. It feels safer to be like I could do a challenge and putting Amazing Race aside, just in life, like having someone like Joseph, my other siblings, my family, like a support system where it's like, okay, I can commit to this or I can do this or and just know that there's someone there always watching over you. It's literally the very definition of like an angel on your shoulder, and that's what Joseph was for me throughout the entire race. And I'm glad people got to see it in Italy.
Oh, I mean, that's very sweet, but I think that what's unique to our season specifically is there was a lot, and I love how you mentioned Hannah that there was something you could learn from from us. We thought the same thing when we were watching you guys. Every team. I remember when we were stuck in the train with Jack and Jess and Allie and Stephanie and Trainwreck was going. I loved the love these siblings had for each other. I think a unique thing about our season is it's almost everywhere where these relationships are just so touching. And I was learning something from every dynamic that was on our season. Usually, you can see something that's unhealthy, but I think everybody there was trying to really support one another as best as they can. And I'm gonna shout out the siblings. Like it just was. I mean, Hannah, you and Simone, you guys broke our hearts. I mean, I will never. The one thing, if anybody wants to see, it's you guys should have seen the breakdown Adam and I had when we thought Hannah and Simone took the last spot from us. I wish that was shown only
Yes.
so you guys understand how much we love these two and have so much respect for them. That is why Phil said in 38 seasons, I have never seen such an emotional situation at the mat, which I'm so shocked they didn't show the emotion. Adam
Yeah.
and I fully were ready to let you two just like take that spot from us and go. Like that was it, you guys. People tell us leg 8 was very emotional. I think we got more emotional with you guys, but it's just not there to show, and it's only because how much love and respect we have for you guys and how much you guys embody. We see ourselves in you two. Like Hannah, similar dynamic with Simone, Simone with Hannah, like oh my God, and your guys, the car, I can't. Even thinking about it, like the way you guys handle and support each other, it's just so beautiful. And I think that's a theme that you see throughout all the siblings, Rubina, Christine, Natalie, Stephanie, Tucker, Eric, Jack, Jass, etc. Like all the siblings on this season, there's just so much love, which you would not expect with us all coming from Big Brother and the reputation that we have. I think it humanized all of us a little bit that when we're not placed in a house where we're supposed to be lying and going against one another, we're just regular people and these are the family members that we care about.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know if you felt this way, Joseph, but I definitely felt like the biggest window to seeing me and to learning about me is the person I care about the most in this
Yeah.
world, and that's my sister. And so I definitely felt like this was an opportunity for the world to get to know Simone and her kind heart, but it was also a way to get to know me in a very different, softer light because it's not like I was scheming the entire time, you know.
Yeah,
Simone and I
yeah.
were just like giggling and doing jazzercise. Okay,
Yay.
so
And oh, so
let's.
sorry. I also wanted to say that when Joseph and Adam told us that, like, practically on the mat, that when you guys said, like, oh, if we weren't able to get that last spot, I'm glad that it's at least going to the Chaddhas. Like, that made us cry even more because we would have literally said the exact same thing.
You guys are so. We wanted to see you guys succeed. I mean, I think you. I wish it was shown more, but like I think in every little corner where we could throw you guys a lifeline, we tried our best to do so.
100%. You did.
From the train, like we were really building
You
momentum.
guys
Like we
were
felt.
our first alliance. Like that
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
they didn't show it, but it shows that we wanted to go all the way with you guys.
Yeah, we
Same.
love you both so much. I mean, from the train, even giving our tickets to you guys, like from there, getting on the same train in the last second, trying to protect you guys at the car. It's like there were just so many corners we wanted to see, not only because we love you guys, we loved what you were racing for. Me and Adam are just two. We wear our hearts on our sleeves, so when we see people like us or we can see ourselves, we can't help it. Like we're gonna help.
Yeah.
You two,
Yeah.
it's just a testament to how beautiful you guys are as people and the race you were running. That like you have two competitors who should be doing everything against you, and we couldn't bring ourselves to.
We definitely felt supported by you guys.
Yes.
And if there's any way we can ever repay you back,
Yes.
we will.
No,
We very much felt the love, and we thank you both so much for the multiple times that you guys tried throwing us a bone and tried helping us.
Yes.
So
If roles were reversed, you guys would have done the same.
you guys would do the same thing, so
we
we
would,
never.
100%.
we would have.
Yeah,
We were just never.
At the position to do
yeah.
so.
Okay, so I do want to fast forward to the final leg because we want to get your guys's maybe inside perspective, some behind the scenes stories that you want to share. I also want to be respectful of the fact that you guys have to go kind of soon. So final leg, you guys figure out is going to be in New York. Now, in the previous leg 11, Izzy and Paige unfortunately went home. You guys secured that last spot in the finale, and you know it's going to be an equalizer and it's going to be in New York City. How are you guys feeling about the final leg being in New York City? Were you thinking like, oh, it's going to be a subway leg? How comfortable did you feel with navigating NYC?
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah, like I think they could have named any city. If it wasn't Florida, Joseph and I would have been like, like we
We
would
wanted, we wanted it to be our
like
hometown.
you know what's
If we're
crazy? You could say like Lake Worth, Florida, and we'd still be like, like
I mean,
still like
we,
that's Jazz and Jack and Kylan and Taylor. So like,
yeah, I think some people really don't. When me and Adam, Adam, do you remember, we were driving, and even the crew was sitting with us, and they were like, "Wow, we got a finale of Jag, like Big Brother winner, longest season, record breaker. Taylor, record holder. Like she's not placed less than second
Kylan,
place.
the challenge bees,
Island Challenge champion.
and then there's
I'm like,
Joseph
"Quack,
and
quack,
Adam.
quack." And then it was like me, Joseph, and Adam. Quack.
Oh.
And, even the crew, they were like, I remember one of them asked me, they were like, what did you win on Big Brother? I was like, buddy, I was like, Taylor beat me on my season. Like, I was like, I did not win. Like, and they were like, oh. So, I mean, me and Adam going into it, it wasn't so much the city, but like, I mean, we had so much respect. We never once underestimated Taylor and Kyland and Jag and Jazz. In our mindset, I mean, like coming into this, like we knew Jag and Jazz were going to be very strong. We knew Tucker and Eric were going to be very strong, and as expected, Taylor and Kyland
Right.
very strong. Um, so we were more concerned that we were going up against reality TV's finest. and we have not made our way there yet.
But I
We
will say like I remember in the hotel room the night before. I remember in the airport, like Joseph and I could tell in his eyes, and I know he could tell mine. Like we were like we could win this. Like it's
we're gonna
one
give it our
leg.
all.
You know, I think it was from like maybe Croatia forward. Every time they started off with the camera, we were like, we're gonna get our first, and we said it
Oh,
every single leg for 7 straight legs. And then they asked us first thing like what's gonna happen here, and Joseph and I was like, it's the only leg that matters, first. And
first.
you know, I felt really confident. I know Joseph felt really confident, and it was shown in our game. Unfortunately, with the Amazing Race, there are some things that are out of your control, and I think that played a part, as well as not taking away that we went against two of the two best teams that are better than us, and they you know did what they did, and that's just the beauty of the Amazing Race and what the
Yeah, I
cards
mean,
unfolded how they did.
we had so much. We were more like I mean, Hannah, if you remember the speech I gave when we came in third place, like I was in awe that I'm standing on the podium, one next to having placed ahead of such amazing competitors
Right.
with you all, and then the fact that we've earned a spot next to Taylor, Kylan, Jag, and Jazz. Like we are not even in consideration that we just lost $1 million. We're more grateful that we were able to even
Yeah,
place third. In such a
I think the
competitive
best way to
game.
put it is Joseph and I was in a fever dream the minute like start was like announced. Like the minute it was run outside and grab your taxis, like Joseph and I was in a fever dream, and it didn't like trigger to us what was going on until we stepped on that stage next to Phil and the other
Still,
winners. Like
it was unreal the entire process. Like, but we still gave it our all. I
yeah,
mean, as Adam mentioned, there were just, and we even went in some debriefs. So that it was one of our higher performing legs. It was just that the gap and the competition being as tight as it was,
Mhm.
there was zero room for error, and that included locating
yeah.
taxis.
There
And without
was
getting
Yeah.
many details, Hannah. You obviously know, like, if you have to get a new driver, what entails with that. And every time
Hmm.
you're stopping and looking for a new driver and waiting for that process to go through, it's just added on time
And it's New
that,
York. Like you get a
yeah,
taxi on the wrong block, and they have to do like a whole like
whole
user.
little
Yeah,
turn.
like
So like hitting the blocks, hitting the corners, and then just not having that momentum and dedication that the drivers had. Something Adam and I noticed. I mean, we had one driver who actually got so overwhelmed. She asked if we could exit the car because
yeah.
all of the cameras,
She
and
refused to
she was like,
sign,
"Hey
and she was
guys."
like, "Get out."
Yeah, she was like, "Hey, your thing is 2 blocks. You guys should probably get out here." And me and Adam are, at the end of the day, we're very respectful for the fact that these are just people living their lives. Like, yes, we're racing for $1 million. But one thing that our mom always told us, is which she couldn't stand, we were never going to be that team, is teams who are rude to the drivers. Who
Just
cares? Like,
anyone,
yeah,
anyone.
yeah, just to anyone, but especially people who you're interacting in the everyday
In
world.
their
And me
country
and
or whatever. Yeah.
Adam, me and Adam, for some reason, in this specific leg, every driver we got was not motivated for us. I mean, it's New York. They were just like, like, buddy, get out. Everybody here is in a
We've
rush.
had they didn't show up, but we've had a taxi literally tell us no when we asked them if they could hurry up a little bit and said I don't care, and we've had a taxi yell at us for grabbing them on the wrong block and was like, next time, like, don't do that. And that was actually the taxi that didn't stay when Joseph said, can you please stay?
Yeah, yeah. There
That
was
guy was
actually a
frustrated that we
driver.
called for him and gave him the location. And he's like, are you not from here? Like, why are you picking me up and telling me to go over there?
Yeah,
And
we actually got yelled
we're
at
like,
by
we
one
don't
taxi
know, like,
driver.
what block to pick up a taxi or run on. And then Joseph was like,
Yeah.
hey, can you please stay? And he just disappeared. Like, that's just,
And then he was a little frustrated because he said he only stopped because he saw how frantic and urgent we were
yes,
looking on the road.
outside the
He
Empire
was like,
State
I
Building.
only stopped because I thought you guys were in an emergency, but to find out that you're basically not, like, I was like, well, it is. We're racing
Yeah,
for a
we were like,
million.
Yeah.
So we were like, and we actually ended up starting building a little bit of a relationship with him, but he's the same driver that ultimately
just
just
disappeared. Yeah.
so we were just like, at first he was like, why are you guys, like, he was like, I see everybody, he even recognized, he's like, I see nobody stopping for you. You're too, I forgot what he called us at him, but he was like, you're these two frantic
Yeah, I
guys
think
running
he
in
thought like we
circles."
weren't from New York, or maybe were. I don't know, because then when we
Yeah,
got in, he
he
was like, "Are you
stopped
not
because
from
he was
here?" And
like,
we're like, "No."
yeah, he was like, I thought you guys had like an emergency. He's like, that's the only reason I stopped for you. And I was like, well, we kind of do. Can you please? And then he's the same one that just left us.
You know what's so funny to top it all off is that once we did finish the final challenge, the taxi to take us to the
Oh
Yankee
my God.
Stadium missed the exit twice. When we were
No, it
four
was like
minutes
three
away,
times.
when we were four
Adam, it
minutes
was three
away,
times.
he misses the exit. It adds another 12 minutes. We're now like 18 minutes away or something like that. And I look at Joseph, and Joseph's like, it's not over till it's over. We get to 4 minutes, 4 minutes away, missed it
He
again.
misses it
And
again.
I just look at Joseph, and he goes, it's over.
Oh no! I wish they would have shown that.
I wish
We
they
were
showed that
on
because
Taylor
I
and
was just
Kylan's.
like, all
It's
right,
so
man, all right.
anticlimactic. We were on Taylor and Kylan's heels. So when we were like, I was like, Adam, it's not over till it's over. We
Yeah.
get in this new taxi driver's car. It's 4 minutes, and Adam's like, I don't know. They left a little bit ahead of us. Like, I don't know if we can get second. I'm like, it's not over till it's over. And then we look at our driver, and I'm like, yeah, it's this exit. He just does not take it. And it goes from 4 to 12 minutes. And I look at Adam. That was the first time. I'm like, it's not over till it's over. He does it the second time. The same exit. And I
Same
look at Adam.
exact
Adam
one.
looks at me, and I go, it's over.
Listen, maybe it was Jack and Chelsea driving that taxi. But you guys, okay,
Exactly.
let's rewind a little because if there's one thing about the Abdins, go 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 go. No,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
reel it
yeah,
in.
let's
Let's go back.
conversation over.
So we start at the airport, JFK, I believe, and you guys have to get yourselves to the Empire State Building. Now, one thing that surprised me about this leg is the fact that you guys didn't have to take the subway at all,
Yeah.
because New York, hello, that is the capital of the subway in America, at least. And so you would think that they would have added that element just because that is yet another, I guess,
Yeah.
buff in the race. But when you make a taxi leg, there is so much that's out of your control, and it doesn't come down to how well you're able to navigate. Sometimes it's just a matter of how fast is the driver willing to go, how
Yeah.
comfortable are they? And that's very frustrating as a viewer because at that point it was actually a race between your three cab drivers. It wasn't a race between the
I
six.
know it was.
But
And by the way, I don't think you guys see one of our cab drivers because they're just not
Yeah, they don't want to
communicating.
sign. They're saying they don't care.
They're
Like
not giving,
it
yeah,
was
they're not
frustrating.
signing, they're not communicating with us. So I don't think they show one. Meanwhile, like Jagged Jazz's cab driver is like, I'm part of your team and this is going to be an airplane. I think the shot of him zooming like that was from our
That's no, that
taxi.
is our taxi in the beginning
Oh,
of the
That's our
episode
taxi.
when there's a
And
cab
they
just
turn to
taking
me and
off.
Adam.
That's Joseph and
oh my
I's
God.
perspective of $1 million.
Yeah, that
Just
was
like, and we're like,
that was our, yeah, that's what we saw, that taxi zoomed like that. And then we looked at our driver and we were like, can you pick up
he
the
said
speed a little
no.
bit? And they just, yeah, they're like,
Oh my
no,
God. Okay,
when
so
there's traffic.
so so you guys, we have a rocket and we have a tricycle, and you guys are heading to the Empire State Building.
Yes.
Adam, I remember you did the Heights Challenge, the Walk the Plank competition in leg two in Prague, and I remember you being,
No,
yeah,
I'm not a heights person.
you're not a heights person. So can you guys talk about how you were feeling in that moment? Did adrenaline just come over you, or how did you get
Okay,
through that?
He was having a
so
panic attack in that
so
elevator.
I was just in New York with my girlfriend in January, and I went to the Empire State Building. I did all this, so it was like a fever dream again coming here, and I was like, I literally recognize it, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a roadblock probably. So we opened it up. I still remember we rip it. I don't know why I said this, and I genuinely believed it. It said, rappel off the Empire State Building, from this feet, and I said, wait, it doesn't say like who to do it. Like Joseph, you take it. And I remember production was like, no, it's both of you. And I was like, wait, no, I'm not doing this. And he was like, no, you're going to do this. And then Joseph was like, no, you're going to do this. And then again, it's like a flashback of Prague where it's like, look, you're going to do this one way or another. You're either going to do it because Joseph's going to throw you over and do it, or you're going to do it and we're going to get the next clue. So you might as well get the next clue. And that's when I was
Adam,
like, oh, snap, here we go. Like, and I started to
yeah,
have to hype myself up.
he went the second we ripped the clue immediately, and we were, so obviously to get to the top where we had to rappel, it took like 15-20 minutes. It was a lot of like moving through the visitors, going from one elevator to another, back staircases. So it took like 15 minutes of Adam marinating that we're getting higher and higher. We would be in the elevator rides and I could see Adam sweating, like he's breaking out in cold sweats.
Yeah.
And I can see him debating in his head, like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this.
Look, we could
And
just get a third. Like, we're ready
yeah,
third right now. Like,
I'm looking at Adam and I'm like,
you
we
get
are,
eliminated
I
at
was
the
like, we
Empire
are
State Building.
100% jumping off.
yeah.
Yeah, he was looking at me and he starts looking at me in the elevator because, in the Empire State Building, it starts going 72, 73, 74, 75. And he side eyes me like, we might have a problem when we're there. And I look at Adam and I'm like, Adam, we can basically taste $1 million if you do what you did in Prague. Because they cut it short in Prague a little bit. Adam in Prague started being like, we're taking the 4-hour penalty. Like, I can't do this. And I was like, no, Adam, like you did Prague, you're gonna be perfectly fine if we do this one. And he was giving me the side eye, cold sweats. And I want to shout out the woman that was
Yes,
with
the
us.
worker. She was hyping
She
me
was
up like
having
crazy.
so much fun with us. Yeah, she was hyping Adam up. She was clowning us. She was like, go get that money. You can see her a little bit in the background on the episode, but she was our number one cheerleader. Like, she was like, you two got this. We were clowning her with her. She would have us busting out laughing. And she was like, come on, boys. Like, when we came down, she was rooting for us. She was like, go collect that million. Go get it. And we were like, we got you. We got you. Even we're like, Jag and Jazz is already like,
Yeah, no,
down
we walk in where they like give you the instructions, the safety, the tutorial, and everything like that. And I will never forget it. I look out the window.
I look outside.
I look out the window, and it's Jazz, and he's holding on. And I was like, oh no.
I was like,
no.
we just got here, man. Like, how are you already on the window, Spider-Man? Like, get
Yeah.
and
Jack
we
was
just
already down, I think. So it's like, okay, like, and then we have to wait for Taylor and Kylan. Like, we were just behind. So
Wait, quick question. Only one team could go at a time?
yeah, they made us wait.
Well, look, I don't know if one team, logistically, they were handling us as one team at a time. I think they could have us going down as two, but they would like.
I just know there was a weight limit. Like they would not
There
let
was a
like
weight.
Taylor
I don't know
or
what the weight
Kylan
was.
did not go while Jazz was going. Like they were like, you're waiting, and then I think they had Taylor and I go, but not at the same time. Taylor went, and I think once she's halfway down, then I was allowed to go, something like that.
Yeah, there was definitely a buffer
Yeah.
between teams going
Oh,
down.
okay. Well, Adam, I will say I am so proud of you for doing that.
Yes.
You killed both heights challenges. Joseph, I know you did the skydiving and you were a pro,
Yeah.
Thank you,
right?
thank you. Yeah, I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, so I'm just like,
I wanted to do the
like,
skydiving actually.
You did?
Yeah,
Really?
only because Joseph and I. Well, we were preparing the sky. If Joseph did the skydive, or if I did the skydiving, Joseph would have been doing the egg the next day, or
yeah,
or I would have still done the egg, got eliminated. But if we survived, Joseph would have done the Italy Milan roadblock. Like they just legally, they said I'm not, like they had it on the clue where Adam's not allowed to do this, and we asked why. They just said like legal couldn't get permission to allow me to do the roadblock. But it's not a hard roadblock. It's just do it. Like get over your mental fear. And I would just
Wait.
cry and poop my pants up there and then just do it. But I would get it done.
I would 100% let. I actually don't know if I would even. My dad would have killed me if
Oh.
I jumped out of an airplane. By the way, he hasn't even watched finale yet because he has not even watched finale yet because he had surgery, so he's like healing up. But when he realizes Adam was dangling off the Empire State Building, it was nice knowing every single one of you because
Oh.
he still doesn't let it go about Prague. He still bothers me about the
Yeah.
Prague thing today. And
Good.
I just I don't think he can conceptualize because it's like, oh, the tallest building in Prague, walk. He doesn't understand like all of that. Like, thank God for the language barrier here. But he will understand jump off Empire State Building. He will
Look,
understand that.
I'm a boots on the ground guy, and the only time I would ever do skydiving is on The Amazing Race. So that opportunity
Yeah.
is gone, and so now I'm keeping my feet on the
No
ground.
skydiving.
That's so funny. I was just about to ask what was Bubba's reaction to you guys rappelling up, or to Adam rappelling off the Empire State
Dude,
Building. So please keep
Yeah,
us
this guy does
updated.
not care what goes on with me. Like he's very much like how like I had to go down. I think Adam, did you go? You went down first, then me,
yeah,
right?
I went down first.
Yeah, they had you get it over with first because then yeah, I'm gonna really get it for that one because he's really not over Prague. He does not let it go. Randomly we'll just be eating, he'll look me up, he'll be like make you walk across. And I'm like, where did that come from? Like we're like
Wait,
just
Joseph,
like
is it only with Adam, or is it with all of your younger siblings where he's like that?
I would say
I don't
mainly
think
with
with Abe
Adam.
he'd be like that. He'd be like, yeah,
Abe, he would be like,
Oh.
yeah, whatever, Tiger, Barhoom, yeah. But only Adam and Jasmine, those two are his like,
yeah.
yeah, those two, like, oh my God, he would have, yeah, those two, me and Abe are like
But
top brother,
Jasmine
like,
has a bit of the
Oh.
adrenaline junkie bug, so she would kind of be
yeah, so,
like,
but
yeah,
Jasmine
let's
is
do
not,
it.
yeah, Jasmine would be like, woo, let's get it, so he won't feel as bad. Adam, knowing this is dangerous and Adam's terrified, that combination really gets me because Jasmine at least would be like, "Oh, I wanted to do it, whatever," and he'll be like, "Okay, whatever. You're both crazy." Adam though is a troll and he likes to see me get yelled at, so he'll be like, "Yeah, oh my God, I was so scared," and then look at me and I'm like, "You're so annoying," and then I'm getting he's like, "Why you do this?" And then the next question is he'll ask, "What was his blood sugar during this?" And Adam will be like, "Oh my God, I think I was low." I'm like, "Oh." Now that's like the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
No, Adam, you are such a
I
little.
gotta get him
Little
back.
schemer.
He is. He
That's
is.
for why he's been nothing good to you.
I don't know.
Okay, so you guys end up rappelling down the Empire State Building, and then at that point, you have to pick up a special delivery and then deliver it somewhere.
The Sesame Street, yeah.
I was very confused by the design of the
I
center.
thought
Like,
it
I'm,
was a really cool cameo. Shout out Amazing Race for being
yeah.
able to do something like that, and it's a crazy opportunity to.
Yeah, we were like, is this the cookie?
Yeah,
Like,
I was like,
we were like,
what the
happened
heck?
to this?
But in the terms of like racing and slowing teams down, it was in the back of Joseph and I's mind, like, okay, this is another not
Oh,
detour, but route info that is being added onto a leg, and the more you do, the closer you get to the finish line. And Joseph and I was like, okay, we're now hoping this is a long
yeah.
leg. Like we need a long
Because
leg.
we were in third place, we wanted something. Like, we loved that. We were like, oh, this is so cool. But in the back of our mind, we're like, okay, well, we know Jag and Jass and Taylor and Kylan aren't going to get tripped up
Yeah,
like
you
this.
can't.
So we were hoping, I mean, even we still got tripped up because Adam ran so fast out of there, he knocked out one of the camera people. Like full blown, like blood on the nose.
Yeah,
Like
we're not gonna
Adam,
say a name because they don't want to say a name.
yeah,
But our camera guy, you guys know him. I came running out and went the wrong direction and just boom, and just
struck him.
bleeding
Oh my
nose and
god.
everything.
Well,
No.
of course we were like, oh,
So
Sesame
then we
Street can't
stopped
slow
and we were
down
like, "Oh my
anyone.
god!" But shout out them
But
again. He
it's
was like, "Go, go, go!"
yeah, yeah. By the way, in his
Oh.
defense, he didn't stop for a second. He was
He was
like,
like,
go, because me and Adam then stopped. We were like, are you okay, okay? And he goes, go, and we were like,
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, as you guys said, that was cool getting a cameo from Sesame Street. Hello, that was a part of pretty much all of our childhoods, I think.
Yeah.
And so that was neat. I remember Jazz saying, like, oh, I was you for Halloween one year.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that was so
I
cute.
think for me, the reason why, as a viewer, I wasn't there, as a viewer, the leg design was a little interesting is because for this leg in particular, besides the crossword puzzle, there was no skill-based challenge. And so in my mind, like the order that you guys arrived to the Empire State Building, that pretty much determined the order that you guys finished in because there wasn't much buffer time
Right.
and you guys were traveling by taxi.
Unless in the crossword they didn't show you what you got wrong, they just said it's wrong. Then everyone would have been tied at the crossword, if that makes sense. Instead of telling you what letters were wrong, if they just said you have something wrong, we would have all maybe tied up there. A theory that I saw that was probably what it is that they probably had they rented these areas like the Yankee Stadium and the Empire State Building for a certain amount of time, and so that they don't have the ability to have us sitting there for 6 hours doing something. But you know, that's the beauty of the race. You know, they create the leg and just win it, and we didn't. So that's
Exactly.
our.
No,
It is what it
oh, you said just wouldn't, and we didn't, but
is.
okay. Then after the Cookie Monster slash Oscar the Grouch, by the way, was always my favorite character. I loved him. I was a stan. I still am. So I was like, wow. But anyway, then you guys go to Spank's house, and you guys have to get these rolls of fabric, and then
Spandex.
sorry, Spandex house, and you guys get these rolls
Spank's
of fabric.
house.
Wait, wait. What
is
am
there
I saying?
a
Spandex?
name?
No, you said Spanx house, like the thing that ladies wear, like shapewear.
Is it? It's
It's
spandex
I
house.
Spandex
think it's
house.
spandex.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
not
was spandex.
not
Oh,
not Spanx.
not okay.
Me and
Not
Adam didn't know then. We don't know
Spandex.
now.
Okay. So you guys go to Spandex house, and you guys get rolls of fabric, and you load these carts. And what I noticed about your guys' carts is that they were tied, and I get that you may not want to break the fourth wall or pull in production, and so you don't have to. But did you feel like that slowed you down?
I think it would have been easier if it wasn't tied. We didn't have it. We did not choose for it to be tied. We just noticed. And by the way, because we left last, we didn't know how the other teams left
Right.
or what the dynamic of their cart was. We just knew that was the cart there. That
And
was
we
what's
were told,
available.
don't touch the car. They'll have it ready for us.
Yeah, of course, like you don't mess with anything. So we just saw that that was there. We put our carpets on there and we pushed it. It was very
Yeah.
difficult to move because I don't know, those carts were approximately 6 feet. Moving one 12-foot long cart with the weight misdistributed because it's long with all the carpets is a lot harder, I think, to manage than if, let's say, Adam had a cart and I had a cart and we could just kind of move the carpets based on necessity. And it's just the smaller space you have, the easier it is to get through New York and the potholes and etc.
Yeah.
We were getting screamed at because like it was such a long both of the parts tied
It was like
together.
10 blocks, 12 blocks you had to push it to.
Yeah, and trying to turn it and get it up and down the ramps and the crevices, and it's like that long of a block. It was very hard to move.
I do think Joseph and I's strength is just pure muscle, no thinking, and that challenge plays into our strengths. Should it have been the same as everyone else's? And I think Joseph and I could have cut some minutes that we lost getting to the Empire State Building on that challenge. Again, unfortunately, that's Joseph and I's fault for getting there so late that we didn't see other people's carts and see that it was untied and make a statement about it. We went with what we thought was correct, and we couldn't cut the gap.
Yeah, I think you noticed there's a point where like it was so difficult to move it under those circumstances that my hand is like ripped open. Like I think you make a comment like in order for us to have gotten that all the way there, like I remember I ripped all the calluses in my hand because it was just so much tugging and pressure. But as Adam mentioned, ultimately, like I'm sure there's something we could have analyzed or done or seen that we just whatever happens falls on
Yeah.
us. So that's one thing we can always say, regardless of the leg design. And Adam and I have tried this. I've said the same thing in Big
Fair.
Brother as well. There's always something we can do in order to cut that or close that gap. There's always there it's just the reality of the situation. And again, giving the giving how amazing our competition is, Taylor, Kylan, Jag, and Jazz, like we need every little ounce of brain power. Like the way the chips fell, we're not mad about it in any capacity. Like they're both amazing competitors. We never underestimated Jagger, Jass, or Taylor Kylan for a second.
Yeah, as you shouldn't, because they're all four of them, even you two. Like I hope you never counted yourselves out or underestimated yourselves. All six of you are such capable competitors, and I think inspired the rest of us to step up in terms of our abilities and our motivation. Um,
Thank you. I hope people at least like we have no problem. If people are like, "Damn, Joseph and Adam got there." I can
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
like yeah, I get it. If you see Taylor and Kylan and Jag and Jazz, and you're like, "Oh my God!" Like yeah, no, but we're there. You guys, we can be your normal like token. Like it's possible. Like use us.
no, 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 but you guys had so many strengths. It's not like you guys ended up there by accident. And I think it's easy to maybe discount yourselves because of how goofy you were. Like Eric, for example, was just so focused the entire
Yeah.
time. That doesn't mean that the rest of us weren't. I think we all just had different ways of showing our level of competitiveness. And you guys still found ways to savor the experience and have fun with one another and form bonds with other teams while also competing. Like you guys were there to compete and you competed well, and that's why you did as well as you did. So I do just,
We did give it our all. I mean, we just
yeah,
like to laugh while doing it. Like
yeah,
that's the thing is I think as you mentioned, Hannah and Simone, because we find a way to find the light in the hardness of the situation, it can kind of take away from the strategy or the actual extra mile we're putting in. But Adam and I have always pride ourselves like, we're not the most talented, but we will be the hardest worker every single time. I think juggling showed that. Again, that's another reason we just a testament to how strong Taylor and Kylan were. Even of course, as you know, without getting into too much detail, the they test the competitions before we place in them. And when we finished, we said like, "Oh my God, we uh, we were like we botched that. Like that was so hard." They said, "No, actually, you guys were more of the normal rate of someone trying to figure that out. Taylor and Kylan were just so good that it made you guys look like it was that hard or difficult." And I get again, it's just a testament to how strong those two are as competitors. I think
yeah.
people forget that.
But as are you guys in your own way. And so
Yes.
I want to make sure that the viewers
Thank you.
are cognizant of that. And that challenge looked really hard. I mean, Jazz, by the end of it, he was only pushing less than four rolls, and
Yeah.
Jag had about 12. And by the end, Taylor was pushing one roll, and Kylan was pushing
It was
15. So
heavy, and
it
it's
looked,
10 blocks, so kudos to both teams. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
it could, yeah, to all of you, because that challenge looked physically brutal. I think that would have Simone, I don't think we could have completed that. I do believe that it would have been physically
I
impossible.
disagree.
Just because of our size. Just because of like, just because of our
I
size.
think you guys
You
would
know,
have
Yeah.
figured out a way.
Adam,
I definitely, Adam, I definitely hear what you're saying. In other words, like believing in them, but there's a level of balancing. I
But
think
he's like, but not really.
I think
no, no,
it's
no, but
fair
these
to
girls got
take
it.
it.
But like, I don't even weigh as much as like those rolls weigh together. So I truly don't know how it would have been physically possible. But okay, so you guys leave Spanx/Spandex House, and I forget which is the name, and then you guys get to the crossword
Sure.
puzzle. This was really interesting. I was waiting for something that required skill. Um, what was your guys' strategy? Because I saw that you could only move one letter at a time, and so and they didn't really show you guys completing the crossword, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they Kept
We
maneuvering
we
him.
we guessed it in the car on the way there. They asked us, and we're like, it's gonna be a memory challenge, likely a crossword puzzle. So we were on the mark, and once we realized how it worked during the our legs during our race, I was more of the one taking the notes. I had the notebook and whatnot. So we kind of went 50-50. The ones that I immediately knew, I just did. Well, I was like, Joseph, figure out like what you can figure out, and I'm gonna start placing what I can place. And then it was about like 70% in, I got hiccuped and I was like, okay, I don't know these. And then I stepped back and was like, okay, I'm going to try to recall some of these while Joseph like fill in what you can. And we kind of just bounced off each other like that until we were ultimately able to complete it.
Yeah, we had a pretty good system going with it. Like Adam was taking the lead initially, and while he knew what he knew because he was kind of our note taker, I would then be filling in the spaces. And then if I blanked on something, Adam would jump in. So we kind of conquered and divided. And then when we were left, there was like three or four that we were both a little bit lost in, but with the remaining pieces, we were able to just piece it together and fairly move out of there pretty quickly. Of course,
Okay. Gotcha. So then you guys leave to go to Yankee Stadium. We talked about how earlier your cat was giving you a hard time, and you guys ended up missing that same exit.
Yes.
I do kind of want to jump to the end of the episode because while all of this was happening, Jag and Jazz, spoiler, they end up winning the season, so they checked in first. And then Taylor and Kyland maybe came in 20 to 40 minutes after Jag and Jazz. And Joseph, Adam, I have told you guys this so many times, but the amount of cheering, the
Yeah.
volume, the level of decibels that you guys got from us, I'm pretty sure they could have heard that all the way in Nashville, Tennessee. Like we were going
Yes.
crazy for you guys. And that's not just because you guys were the underdogs. That's not just because Joseph, did not win Big Brother, whereas the other two did. But it's because we believed in you guys. We believed in your relationship, in your story, in your motivations for running the race, and also the way that you treated each and every team. You guys were so kind, despite it being a competition. And yes, we were all kind to each other, but I think anytime someone spoke to either of you, you guys did such a great job of making them feel valued, and like an integral part of this season. And so
Yeah.
the way that we cheered for you, that was a direct reflection of the way that we could feel you guys cheering for
Thank
us
you.
throughout the
It
season.
means a lot.
Um, no,
yeah,
you
it
guys are
meant
just,
so much.
you guys are the
I,
best.
I think I think I
Literally.
remember someone saying to us on
Yeah,
stage, they
someone,
were
yeah,
like,
someone said it.
someone said to us, they were like, "Oh my, like, okay,
You would
we
think you
clearly saw."
won.
I think Jag and Jazz joked,
I
yeah,
think it
Jag
might
and
have
Jazz
been
joked.
Jazz.
They they joked after when we got down. They were like, "Yeah, we can clearly see who they wanted."
Ah.
Um, and they were really sweet about it, but they were cracking up. They were like, "Dude, like we were all congratulating each other one another. They're very humble and again, I get they're amazing competitors. Like I get what people were rooting for. We're the underdogs. Like those two are just
Yeah, like what,
amazing at
five
every
legs in a row or
rightfully
something like
so.
that? Like, ugh.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah, yeah. We were trying to come out from under them, but it was they're just so good at everything they do, and same with Taylor and Kylan. So I think of course Adam and I were the underdogs in that. But we appreciate it. I mean, one thing we always love. We've been raised this way. It's in our culture. Just treat people with respect as much as you can and treat people how you want to be treated, and you guys all made that so much easier because you did the same thing to us. I mean, I think when we came in, like, we're not even running to the podium, we're
I
just
know.
high-fiving
I'm
you
like, I
guys.
remember I had my arms out just.
We're
Ah.
so happy to see you guys. Like, we're like, oh wait, the race isn't over till you hit the podium, and we're like hugging everyone, like, oh, where have you been? Like,
And we were like,
Where have you been?
you guys, you still have to check in.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, we still had to check in, which was fun. Even Phil, I mean, when we saw him, he was like looking at us. We gave Phil such a run for his money, poor guy. We were always making him like emotional, giving that poor man a hard time, chasing him off the mat, like yelling in his ear. Like, so even seeing him again, it was just again so surreal. Hearing you all cheer the way you did when we showed up. Like, I mean, we felt we were winners. And me and Adam's mind, like running up to that mat, making a finale, like representing our Palestinian and Syrian heritage, coming in proud of who we are. Adam representing the diabetic community, hearing our friends cheer so loud in the Yankee Stadium for us, running up there and seeing the huge smile on Phil's face, Taylor, Kylan, Jag, and Jess, and getting the honor to stand next to all four of them. I mean, me and Adam literally, you can see it. We're like coming in at we won. Like to
We
us,
did.
we just felt like we won. We don't have the money to show it, but we definitely had the experience that does.
Listen, because in today's economy, $500,000 per person, $200,000
What
after
is
taxes, that's like two dinners. Everything is so
basically,
expensive.
yeah,
Well, dinner's
that'll
on Jazz and Jag then. So
Exactly.
yeah, because then let me tell you this. Third place, yeah, third place is not.
I can get you guys a
I'm not going
coffee.
to. Yeah, I'll get you
We'll
guys that
take
coffee.
it.
Hot water for 99 cents. What Simone and I have said to pretty much every eliminated team, and this is just our philosophy, none of us came in with anything to lose. It's not like we came in with $1 million and that money was taken away from us. Nothing was guaranteed. We weren't entitled to anything, and we truly feel as though every team walked away with something new that they learned about themselves or their partner. They walked away with the experience of a lifetime that only a very few number of people get the privilege to do. And we also just walked away with these new bonds. And I don't know. I think those things are priceless. And Adam, something that stuck out to me is you could just tell how much your self confidence grew throughout the season. Like when we first
Yes.
met, your eye contact was a little shifty. Like you definitely let Joseph kind of take the reins when it came to speaking. And then by the end of the season, you were like, move over. So anyway,
Yeah.
this is why we're
Making
here.
decisions. We're doing this. We're
Yes.
speaking here. He gave a speech on the finale stand. Like he's
Yes.
jumping off buildings. Like I to me, Hannah. I mean, you put it perfectly. We weren't entitled to anything coming into this experience. We weren't entitled to anything, and I got to leave with seeing my brother that I obviously love so much, like really get comfortable in his own skin and live out the potential that I know he's always had, as well as for me, like even personally, I mean, I'm a finalist now. I'll take it. Like that's a win in my book. Like I'm going back to work. I think I was laughing. Like me and Adam are we love. We love a good normal life that we live. We want to
Mhm.
play with our dogs. We want to stay in their corner. So yeah, if we get to randomly just show up and jump out of an airplane and do something fun and then go back to our families and our quiet life, like we that is an experience and a bond in a lifetime. And Adam, as Adam mentioned earlier, like we didn't even realize how much distance has creeped up on us because that love is still always there, but how much you just take advantage of the fact that life gets so busy as you start living out your adult and you're not sleeping in the same room anymore or sharing laughs. And I remember one of the hotel rooms, I'm like, you snore now? Like when was that a thing? Like there were just these little moments that we would have never gotten together. And again, you can't put a price on that. Like, yes, icing on the cake, $1 million in our bank account after that experience, pish posh, but ultimately, like it just comes down to being grateful for that. And that's why I encourage anyone to go on the journey and go on the journey with and we had the beauty, like we didn't travel much growing up. Like being able to go over all over Europe, that's a luxury we couldn't afford back in the day. So having that chance to do that, do it with my brother, do it with you all, like I even find it lucky I got to do it with my friends. Like this was almost like a big group, vacation in some capacity. If you want to put it into perspective, we could have done it with
Oh yeah.
strangers and not known anybody. But I'm out here in Europe with Hannah and Simone. Like, how can I complain?
Oh, us
We certainly
too.
cannot complain.
Yes.
We do like to ask, what do you feel like you learned about yourself, and what do you feel like you learned about the other person in your partnership, or even the way that you guys operate as brothers? What is the big thing that you guys are going to take away from this experience?
In myself is that diabetes isn't a limitation that I initially set on myself. It's I'm an individual with type 1 diabetes. I'm not a type 1 diabetic, and I learned that throughout the race, and the race helped me learn that, and my brother helped me learn that. And what I've gathered from Joseph is that no matter what path life takes me on, no matter how distant we get, whatever however busy I get, Joseph, my family, they're always going to be there. That support system is going to be there, like it was there when I was 10 years old, like it was there when I was 12 years old when I was first diagnosed, and like it was there on The Amazing Race. So it's something that, I initially started to not disappear, but just I lost focus of, and the race brought that back for me. And for that, I'm grateful.
For me with Adam, it's that, my faith in him was always well placed. Like I always knew he could, I always knew he could, and he did. Like it's just reassuring to see it come to
Oh.
fruition because so many times he's in the dark now. So many times,
Light died.
so many times, so many times there he is. So many times I've wanted to see when it came to sports or just him stepping out of his comfort zone or like him seeing himself through my eyes and witnessing that and first time like when he's smiling like you and I think everyone could see it. You could almost see it on TV, which it was so much more real in person. Like watching it unfold in real time, like seeing him step out of his skin, seeing him making decisions, seeing him stepping up in certain points and not just hiding behind me. Like I loved watching him step out of his shell and live out to the potential that I know he has. I think for myself, and I think this is a little bit something Adam and I both is we can like our goofy, funny personalities doesn't take away from the fact that we're still very capable individuals and that we deserve a seat in at the table. Like that's just something I think Adam and I have always felt just because of our background and our culture and our heritage. Like, operate, keep your head down, don't bother anybody, stay to yourself, but we be loud, be proud, be who you are, step into the light, let people see you. You're probably motivating someone else. I think this was a very, very joyful journey to go on. I mean, me and Adam, if you would have asked me outside of The Amazing Race after Big Brother, like, oh, go on another show or do something else, I would have been very reluctant. Granted, I think we all understand that The Amazing Race is a unique circumstance, but I definitely feel like this helped build confidence and reassurance and just also pride. Adam and again, we a huge reason we showed up on this race was to represent our communities once more. I tried to do so on Big Brother, and we did it again here on the race. So for us, it's just important that we keep doing it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Simone, do you have any last words?
Just again to second what everybody's been saying, it was literally like the biggest honor to race with you both, and I genuinely do think that I can speak on behalf of the whole cast of season 38 that you guys are the epitome. And if there was the word kindness in the dictionary, your faces would be plastered right next to it. And the way you guys looked out for genuinely every single person, all while again like going through your own experience throughout the race, it's genuinely so admirable and so selfless. And again, that quality that you both has is one in a million, so we're so lucky to be on the receiving end of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Love you both.
Absolutely. The last thing I'm going to say is I am quite literally sitting in a Zoom room or a Riverside room, whatever this app is called, with three of, I think, the most special human beings I have ever met in my life. I think you guys are just, Adam, you even said this in the final episode, like, my brother is a good human being. That is the way I feel about the three of you. And I hope to be even a quarter of the individual that you three are specifically. I have not said this to anyone else on our cast. I think everyone is lovely, but you three just shine in so many ways. And I
Or Hannah or
Yeah, we feel the
listen,
same
see,
about
listen
you,
to him.
Hannah.
catch me on the wrong day, maybe.
I'm literally like, okay, Monday through Friday, it's a little rough.
No,
But
Hannah, you guys seriously beautiful family. Like I told Adam from the beginning, like one thing we will always do is love our Chaddhas. Like, it's such an honor and privilege to have you guys in this community and to just know you both. Like we from day one, I'm very fortunate from the day I stepped out of the Big Brother house, I had a chance to meet you and Simone.
yes,
Oh,
and I also think I
likewise.
said this. I also think I tried saying this on the race, but then I confused my English, and so it didn't come out right. But if I ever have sons, I'm sending them to you too.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sending them. I'm not raising them. I'm letting you guys do the dirty work. At the very
Well,
least,
actually, I'm gonna kick them over to our parents because that's who we give everything to. Like that's who made us the people we
Uh,
are. Like there's something to say about a foreign dad who can't speak good English who yells at you if you put your brother in dangerous situations. But and also our mom. Our mom is the sweetest, strongest soul that we've ever met. So
I
we're
believe
gonna, we're gonna give all the kudos to those two.
Okay, well then in that
uh,
case, my kids, they can do a rotation.
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
they got to build a little character development. Let me just living in the Abden household will build some character.
Sure.
I'm sending my daughters to you too.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, and Joseph,
Yes.
for joining us on the royalty. I know you
Of
guys have to get
course.
to a family dinner. Enjoy the rest
Thank
of
you
your
for having
night,
us.
and we will hopefully see you guys soon. We miss you
Hope
so
so.
much
Thank
already.
you.
Bye.
It's an honor and
You
a
guys
Well,
like,
privilege.
comment,
Bye.
thank you. Bye, guys.
thank you.
Bye.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.